welcome to the Instagram stories for Friday, July 14th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Some Instagram news to get into, and then we're going to talk more about Threads. We did have one day off from talking about Threads, so we kind of have to enjoy that while we have it. Let's get into the news. First, social media expert Ahmed Ghanem, who is from Cairo, Egypt, tweeted that Instagram is now automatically tagging products in stories when it detects them. He posted a screenshot showing a chain bag leather shoulder bag in green that was tagged from a brand called Maluk. And it says in the screenshot, tags were automatically added based on your catalog. Tap here to edit or reposition tags. This is in stories. The ability to tag products in feed has been around for a while, but the fact that it automatically happens in stories, say with a garment you're wearing, or like in this case, a bag that's in the picture that you might be holding. I think this is a very interesting concept and a great way to sell things. I will link to this in the show notes so that you can check it out for yourself. On to the next piece of news. Meta is testing not only the ability to buy Meta Verified on Facebook and Meta Verified on Instagram, but the ability to combine those into one subscription. I'm looking at a screenshot from a user called Jonah Manzano, who is in Australia. His screen is showing the option to buy a 2-profile subscription. So this would be Facebook and Instagram for Meta Verified. That would cost $42 a month. That is Australian, so obviously there's some conversion rates there, but the Meta team might decide to make that $42 across the board. This is not cheap, obviously. I will link to a screenshot of this so you can check it out for yourself and see what you think. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into Threads, so stick around.
This podcast is brought to you by AT&T Fiber with Wi-Fi. Whether you're into watching horror movies from your basement, watching sports from your backyard, or watching trashy reality shows from inside your car that's parked all the way in the driveway so no one in your family judges you, AT&T Fiber with Wi-Fi is the best way to watch whatever you want from wherever you are.
Get AT&T Fiber with Wi-Fi and add some Wi-Fi square footage to your house. Limited availability in select areas. Go to att.com/hypergig to check eligibility. Coverage requires extenders at additional charge.
And we're back. The head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, shared a hidden gems on his Instagram account this week, talking all about Threads and sharing some things that I didn't know were possible inside the Threads app. It may have been obvious to you that you could share a thread to Instagram, either in feed or stories. You've seen people do that. But did you know that you could make a longer thread in Threads? For instance, if you wanted to make like a bunch of tweets in a long row, maybe it's a long story or something, you can do that by tapping the enter key 3 times in a thread. I didn't know that. Here's a bunch of things you probably didn't know about Threads.
Welcome to week 1 of Threads. We've been so excited about the reception. Cannot believe that 100 million people have signed up, but lots more work to do. But this week I wanted to take my weekly video and just focus on some hidden gems in the Threads app. So I'm going to record right now, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite details in the app. So first, let's go to actually starting a new thread. I want to actually share something like making a video of hidden gems for Threads. One thing that I want to make sure you know is that you can decide who can actually reply to your thread. If you look in the bottom left, you'll see the text, anyone can reply. And if you tap on that, you can change it to profiles you follow, and you can even change it to who you mentioned only. Because sometimes you want to keep the conversation tight in order to keep it civil. Now, another detail in the composer is if you hit return 3 times, it'll actually automatically start an additional post, so you'll have a thread right there in line. Now, the whole point is to help you find amazing things that you're interested in on Threads. And as you go through it, you'll see that there'll be some posts from accounts you follow and some posts that we call recommendations, which are from accounts you don't follow. But if you see something from someone you want to keep seeing, you can decide to actually follow them right there in line. So I don't want to follow this account right here. I can actually follow that account right there in line by tapping on that profile icon on that plus. I can also decide I don't want to see something or anything from a specific account again. So here's Serge Ibaka. I'm actually a huge fan of Serge Ibaka. I've already liked this post. But if I wanted to, I could tap the 3 dots on the top right and mute him, which would mean that I still follow him, so that you'll never know that I did this, but his posts will not show up in my feed in the future. If you long press the search icon, it not only opens search, but it pulls up the keyboard right then and there. So I can type in the account I'm looking for, go to it, and if I want to add Serge Ibaka back, I can go tap on the three dots in the top right and unmute him. But I can quickly and easily get to Serge by long pressing that tab. If you're worried though about how much time you spent, another tool I want to point out is time limits. So if you go to your profile, you tap on settings, you go to account, you can go to take a break. And you can actually have the app remind you to take a break every 10 minutes or 20 minutes. So it'll just give you a little notification, remind you to take a break, and you can decide, do you want to keep spending time on Threads or not? Because it's important to us that you feel good about the time that you spend in the app. The other thing I want to call out real quick is that if you'd like to actually share a post, either from feed or from your profile to Instagram, you can tap on the airplane at the bottom of any post, and you can decide to either share it to your story or to feed. And that'll actually switch you into the Instagram app, and you can edit it how you like. It'll be tappable and bring that person to Threads, and then share it with whoever you like on Instagram. But that makes it really easy to share not only posts that you've made on Threads, but also threads from people that you find interesting in the app. The team is working through a long list of features that we know we need to build into the app. A following feed, the edit button, the ability to support multiple accounts and quickly switch between those accounts, post search, eventually hashtags, a web presence, the ability to see everything that you've liked in one place, translations, and many, many, many more things. Now, if there's anything I missed, and it's going to take a while to deliver all of this, please let me know down below. Would love to hear it. And if there's anything that you particularly like about Threads, please let me know as well, because we'd like this to be a positive place. So a lot more to come. Appreciate you all trying it out. Appreciate you all being patient with us as we improve the experience. Really excited about week 1, but this journey is just getting started. See you next week. Peace.
You know what I like about that? Of all the things that he said Threads could do, and right out of the gate, it can do a lot of things. He said there are a lot of things that they're working on. Now, all of those that he described that they're going to be working on made sense to me, except for hashtags. Instagram has really moved away from hashtags. They had said historically that you could use up to 30 on Instagram, but as of recently, we're recommending using a maximum of 3 to 5 hashtags per post. I don't know who searches for content on Instagram anymore using hashtags. That was what we did before we had the search. So it's interesting that they brought that up at all. But of course, as this develops, I will keep you posted. That is going to do it for today's show. I have some ideas for content creation involving you listeners, which I am very excited to talk about, but not quite ready to do. So be sure to come back next week. I will be talking about how I want to involve you as a listener so that we can create TikToks and Reels and other interesting content together. So be sure to come back next week.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave, without a break or a pit stop. Still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and you gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.